Ted Cruz suggested in an interview with Fox News Wednesday that the solution to school shootings is to simply have one door to the school with an armed police officer outside of it. Why we already have all these prisons, why wouldn't we have our children attend school in them? The food is the same. Has Ted Cruz never heard of fire? Like, one entrance to a school? Has he never seen a building? Though it does make a little bit more sense when you find out Ted Cruz accepted over $3 million in political contributions from the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. Doesn't make any sense. Let's get into it. What a week. All right. Here's the thing. I want to talk. Obviously, this has been a week of grim news, and this is a show that we do once a week. Mostly funny. A lot of it is supposed to be funny. Here's what I wanted to say about yet another mass shooting in America. Sometimes I feel like politics right now, for a lot of reasons, mostly bad, is about whose rage gets the most attention. And sometimes Democrats eke out a victory, sometimes we lose. But regardless, I think a lot of our collective frustration as progressives is rooted in the fact that our national conversation tends to focus almost exclusively on Republican rage. And, Republican rage is about the difference between how things are and how things used to be. That's what voting in Trump was about. That's what trying to make life more dangerous for trans kids is about. That's what banning books is about. And that's why Democrats, I think, have been afraid of their own shadows for too long. But something does feel like it's changing, and like maybe our rage will get its due. And our rage is about the difference between how things are and how things could be. And we saw after George Floyd's murder, there was this surprising experience of the whole country focusing on a different kind of rage. I think the same thing has been happening since the Roe decision leaked. I think we're living through mass shooting after mass shooting in such quick succession is allowing a different kind of rage to have its due. And I see it more and more. And I see us as the majority in this country that's angry not about the fact that we're leaving behind some fantasy about the past, but desperate to imagine a better kind of future. I see us demanding more and more. And while it is taking time to get it out of our political system, that does give me some kind of hope. And I don't know what to do with that, except I don't think I'm really a Democrat because I like Democratic politicians. Right now, I think I'm mostly a Democrat because I hate what Republicans would do to this country. And I'm just going to be okay with that for a while, And they don't care if kids are gunned down in school, if trans kids kill themselves. They don't care if like a 13-year-old girl is forced to carry her father's baby to term, if our drinking water is poisoned, or if our sea levels rise, if their own supporters die of COVID. Mass shootings are an evil scourge, and they highlight how dangerous and violent this country can be. But last year, 45,000 people died from gun violence in this country. 1,500 kids died last year. The leading cause of death for children is now gun violence. They're shot by family members, by accident, by suicide. More than half of the gun deaths in this country are actually suicide, deaths of despair and mental illness because, in part, access to guns. So mass shootings are evil, and they concentrate and captivate the country because of how terrifying it is to live under the specter of being gunned down at any time, or your kids being gunned down at any time. But we also tolerate death by gun violence so long as it's one or two at a time. And together, these are also mass shootings we ignore, happening over and over again, all the time, everywhere. I see a lot of people talking about how hopeless this is, and I just don't really understand that. Like, I don't feel particularly hopeless. I just feel furious. I feel angry all the time about it. I don't want to live in a violent, dangerous, heavily armed, authoritarian religious state, controlled by an embittered minority that rules us through their unelected, bigoted, and radical judges. I refuse. And we all need to refuse. We just have to refuse, even if it's hard, even if it takes forever, even if the victories are few and far between, because the second we accept that is our reality, the second we give up in this fight, that will be true. That is exactly what this country will become. There are currently 5 million eligible citizens in Texas who are not registered to vote. This is by design. Republicans in power don't want all eligible Texans to make their voices heard because they wouldn't support 20 bills expanding gun rights in the state that Governor Greg Abbott signed into law in 2021 alone. Greg Abbott is on the ballot this November, and our friends in Texas have plans to register more than 1.25 million Democrats who have moved to Texas since 2020 that are still unregistered. You can donate to that effort as well as find ways to support the families in South Texas at votesave.us/Texas. So please go and donate and do what you can. And don't give in to the idea that this is hopeless or that things won't change. It will take time, but we are the majority in this country. And we will win. It took a long time for things to get this bad, to live under the specter of this much violence, to have it become so ordinary. It will take time for it to change, but we do not have to accept the idea that this is normal. We don't have to give in to the idea that we are so weak and so afraid and so vulnerable that just because it may take a long time, we won't actually do it. We will do it. This will not be our future. This is our present. It simply will not be our future. We have to assume and live as though that is true. That's all. Also this week, I'm gonna bring the energy back up. I'm gonna leave a pause or something. Ugh, what a shitty fucking week, you know? And then you go on social media and it's all like so performative. And that's ugly too, you know? All these people getting retweets by expressing their feelings about it. And it's because it's by its nature for others to see. Not only do we doubt them, it causes us to doubt the idea of people actually feeling these things. I think it is so bad for us as people to see tens of thousands of other people sharing what should be, what we want to be genuine emotion, but doubting it again and again and again and again. It is so sick that we go to this forum where everyone collectively performs grief because it can't actually be grief because by its nature, it is meant to be consumed as content. I don't think that's good. It is deeply upsetting what is happening. It is deeply upsetting. It is awful. It is wretched. It is sickening, and it is vulgar, and it is unnecessary, and it is preventable. And that outrage, I think, is something we don't know where to put it. We don't know where to put these feelings. But I do struggle with the fact that in the wake of only mass shootings do we express these maudlin and big emotions when kids are dying by gun every single day. Every single day. They die every single day. They accidentally shoot a sibling. They get shot by a parent who think it's an intruder. They shoot themselves because they're being bullied at school. This happens every single day. Why do we not collectively mourn every 20 kids? Why does it matter that it doesn't happen in one place? It's wrong. It's wrong. That is a vulgarity. That is us collectively, even the people who are outraged by mass shootings, tolerating and not caring enough about daily violence. That is our crime. That is our mistake. That is our collective inhumanity that we have accepted every single day. The fact that they have to happen in one place, in one fucking room for the whole country to pay attention is wrong. That is what is wrong. That is all of us being wrong. That is all of us accepting this every day. And the day we stop doing that, the day we stop waiting for a mass shooting to be the reason we care about gun violence is the day we'll actually have a majority that will change this. Every day is a mass shooting. Every hour is a mass shooting, and we all ignore it. All of us. I ignore it. All of us. We all ignore it. You're pissed about mass shootings? Not enough. Because you're worried about mass shootings because you know you're not going to shoot yourself. You're not worried about a gun in your house because you don't have a gun in your house. You're not afraid of your partner shooting you because you know and love your partner. It's not coming for you. It's not going to affect you. We worry collectively about mass shootings. Journalists worry about mass shootings because they're afraid of them. We're afraid of being killed in a mass shooting. We're afraid of our kids being killed in a mass shooting. 45,000 people are going to be killed by guns, and none of us care enough. Wow, that was surprising. Okay. All right, now I'm done. That's what I actually think. Okay, cool. You guys want to start over? I mean, we're gonna put that in the show, but emotionally, you guys want to now get back to something. You came out here. Yeah, okay. I'm standing up. All right, I'm shaking it off. That was helpful for me, to be honest. I was struggling with what I was trying to understand about why I was bothered by our collective reaction to these things, and that was helpful. Thank you for allowing me to do that in front of you. Also this week, Donald Trump told Newsmax he wouldn't be worried if Mike Pence tried to run in 2024. Trump said, "I can't imagine he runs that fast. He's an older guy, not in great shape. They'll still catch him and kill him." San Francisco Mayor London Breed says she will not march in the city's Pride Parade unless organizers reverse a previous decision and allow police to march in their uniforms. The organizers forbade police from marching in their uniforms for one simple reason: no kink at Pride. After the horrific events in Texas this week, Beto O'Rourke publicly confronted Greg Abbott during a press conference Wednesday, demanding the governor take real action in response to the Uvalde school shooting.
You are doing nothing.
No, he needs to get his ass out of here. This isn't the place to talk this over.
This is totally predictable when you...
Sir, you're out of line.
I love when a tall guy acts tall, you know? For justice. For justice. That's so cool. He's so tall. He's so tall. So tall. Senator Ted Cruz, also in attendance, demanded Beto sit down. But that's like telling Hulk not to smash. It only is going to make Beto stand on something higher. Also, Beto was sitting down. That's just a height difference between Beto and Ted Cruz. Beto's so tall. So tall. So tall. After being led out of the venue by officers, Beto told the press gathered outside, "I am calling on all Texans of good conscience, and I could care less if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, to stand up for yourself, for your kids, for our families, and to stop the next shooting just like this one." Meanwhile, a few hours after the press conference, Governor Abbott attended a fundraiser in a private home. I know the optics aren't great, but the cannibal family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre is kind of considered to be a kingmaker in the state's Republican Party. Before you criticize Greg Abbott, please remember, we all have our own ways of dealing with grief. Self-care is important. Meanwhile, Ted Cruz suggested in an interview with Fox News Wednesday that the solution to school shootings is to simply have one door to the school with an armed police officer outside of it. Why, we already have all these prisons. Why wouldn't we have our children attend school in them? The food is the same. Has Ted Cruz never heard of fire? Like, one entrance to a school? Has he never seen a building? Though it does make a little bit more sense when you find out Ted Cruz accepted over $3 million in political contributions from the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. Doesn't make any sense. Cruz also said, inevitably, when there's a murder of this kind, you see politicians try to politicize it. You see Democrats and a lot of folks in the media whose immediate solution is to try to restrict the constitutional right of law-abiding citizens. The law-abiding citizens part is what counts. The mass shooter was a law-abiding citizen when he bought 2 AR-15s. Ted Cruz's policy here is that every American citizen in good standing within the law should be allowed one mass shooting. That is his current policy. Of course, guns are banned during Trump's speech at the NRA conference this weekend, but that's just because they want to sell more guns at the venue, like how at movie theaters, they don't let you bring your own Sour Patch Kids. In an impressive display of stones by a Democrat, Senator Chris Murphy took to the Senate floor to demand Republicans join in on the fight for gun control.
But I'm here on this floor to beg, to literally get down on my hands and knees and beg my colleagues. Find a path forward here. Work with us to find a way to pass laws that make this less likely.
Republicans responded, "On your hands and knees, that's surrender talk." That doesn't mean anything. Senator Murphy said, "Spare me the bullshit about mental illness. We don't have any more mental illness than any other country in the world. You cannot explain this through a prism of mental illness because we're not an outlier on mental illness. We're an outlier when it comes to access to firearms and the ability of criminals and very sick people to get their hands on firearms." Okay, but have we tried to get these shooters the Calm app? Meanwhile, Ellen DeGeneres aired her final episode after 19 seasons of her daytime television talk show on Friday, which means it's time for a new mean gay on the comfortable chair to take the throne. I'll bully Taylor Swift. I'll go to a baseball game with Mitt Romney. I'll get dominated by Dakota Johnson. I'll do anything. Earlier this month, HBO premiered Stephen Moffat's adaptation of the 2003 novel The Time Traveler's Wife, which follows an everyman as he meets different iterations of his wife and himself while crisscrossing space-time. This week, time stood still on Twitter when a scene from the show's second episode started to make the rounds, revealing that in the show, the time traveler performs oral sex on a version of himself from the future. Yes. Personally, I think that's a huge juvenile distraction from the real serious ethical and existential ramifications of time travel, which is why I brought him here today to discuss the actual meaningful good he can do. Please put your hands together for the time traveler himself, Henry DeTamble. There he is. There he is.
Right.
There he is.
Hello. Wow.
Come on, time traveler.
Absolutely.
So good to see you. Thanks for joining us today, Henry.
Of course, John. Though if I disappear, don't think I'm doing it, I'm being rude. I'm just somewhere waking up naked in a field in 2004, or waking up naked in a movie theater playing Knocked Up in 2007, or waking up naked earlier today in the back of this theater. Honestly, I'm not sure how you even booked me.
We have the best producers, huh? They're on their phones. And this praise was not inserted into the script to make me celebrate them out loud. Anyway, Henry, that sounds confusing. Could you explain how it is exactly that you time travel?
Of course. You see, John, I was born with a condition called chronoimpairment.
Sure you were.
My body spontaneously travels through time at completely unpredictable times.
That must be very difficult for you.
Oh, oof. As you can imagine, John, time traveling makes for a very fraught existence. I only make it through with the kindness and support of my wife, Claire, who I will love forever, and of course, the occasional blowjob from myself.
I was kind of hoping we could steer clear of the autofellatio because it does cause such chaos online. Instead, I wanted to ask you, what pressure do you feel as a time traveler to attempt to retroactively avert all kinds of things that might be happening,
John, can we be real with each other right now?
You're not going to answer my question, are you?
I believe that we, as a people, should be more open to thinking outside the box. My ability to time travel has its challenges, yes, but it also has its rewards. I've learned so much about humanity, and also, when I'm feeling anxious, I can meet up with myself for a quick 6ix9ine.
Oh, man. Henry, please, Henry.
No, John, please what? John, I have no shame about my life either, about my spontaneous time traveling or the copious amounts of dome I get from different versions of myself.
Wow.
Pretty much every time I see them, or they see me, if you know what I mean. Sometimes the blowjobs arrive from my future. It's complicated.
I have many questions that aren't about time travel blowjobs. I'm begging you.
And you don't have a single one about it?
Does it count as a gay experience or as masturbation?
Hey, the way I do it, it's both.
I've been excited about that joke all day.
Did I get it?
You guys are
All
so
right,
good.
yeah.
So good. Henry, based on literally every time travel movie I've seen, I imagine you have tried to intervene at some point to prevent catastrophe. Get a message to President Obama about, the tan suit. Warn people that they don't need to wipe down their takeout containers, Is there some, you know what I mean? Is there anything you've been doing to let people know about the future?
No, I never have, John. I pretty much just surprise my wife at various ages, plus the Beegers.
Henry, you're telling me you've never tried to change the future. Aren't you personally morally obligated to at least pick up the phone and call somebody?
I mean, I could, right? But how would they understand me with my mouth so full?
God damn it, Henry. I'm starting to think you are wasting this incredible gift the universe has given you.
John, we know right now what horrible events are headed our way. The next housing market crash, women losing abortion rights, the video that actually makes everyone understand, sympathize, and even respect Madison Cawthorn. And we can't stop any of it. You think one extremely relaxed man can convince anybody of anything?
Oh my God, you're right.
So I say, kick back, relax, and go to town on yourself. Why not?
I don't know. Maybe you have a point.
That being said, I did just get back from 2024, and I have a grave warning for the country of America.
Oh no. What is it?
Trump is going to win again.
Oh, come on.
Or will he? I don't know. The point is, you can stop it. You can warn yourself about climate change, about democracy, about guns, about all of it. No more information is needed. What is needed is for everyone who knows and cares to get the majority in this country to accept that the warnings are true. And that's not up to me. That's up to you. So I'm free to kick back and text myself from 2 weeks ago a picture of an eggplant and that new pointing emoji.
Come on. You know, Henry, I got to ask, does any of this nonstop fellatio make you wonder if you should instead be looking for a time traveler's husband?
Oh, no. I have sex with a truly insane number of my wives, too, and they are freaks. Let me tell you.
Henry DeTample, the time traveler, everybody. Give it up for
thank
Henry.
you. Timothée Chalamet wins an Oscar for playing Johnny Depp, so consider yourself warned.
Oh, no. Langston Kerman, everybody. Insane.